Okay, I know that we're probably all gonna feel this one. And this is for anyone, no matter what stage of your content creation journey that you're in. Those who haven't even started yet, total beginners, like maybe you have a few videos out. Those of us who have been posting for a while, some pieces of content, sporadically, inconsistently, but still feel a bit icky about it. And also the people who have been doing it for years and are getting all the successes from it. Whatever we are considering to be a success metric, views, shares, brand deals, clients, personal joy, whatever. And the thing that makes all of us so connected, the thing that we can all relate to each other on, to some capacity, for most of us, is the fear of being seen. And what's actually happening to all of us is our fear of being seen is actually protecting us from the wrong thing. And I am sorry, but I have to say this, for your own good, if you continue waiting for the perfect moment, waiting to feel ready, waiting until you join that course that you've been thinking about, waiting to have the perfect equipment, if you wait until all those things happen, I am not even gonna finish the sentence because you know exactly what I'm trying to say. If you wait that long, it's probably never gonna happen. So what we're gonna do together in this video right now is unpack absolutely everything about being seen, showing up on camera, using our voice, and almost about how we have to literally rebuild this new level or layer of confidence to actually show up on social media versus how we actually are in real life. Because there could be some of you who feel so confident day to day. Like maybe you're someone who is so confident, so comfortable speaking up in front of your work colleagues if you're presenting a slideshow or something. Or you could be someone who would not bat an eyelid if you were asked to go and speak to someone randomly in a cafe or a bar. Like that's totally fine for you. But then when it comes to actually showing up on camera, using your voice, talking about the things that you're passionate about, the freeze comes. The ick comes, the cringe comes, you feel stressed, you feel overwhelmed, you're overheating, no words come out, or if they do, you're just totally rambling, you don't even know what you're saying, you're like blacking out at this point. We've all been there. So if that sounds like you, I think you already know this, but I think you should keep watching. Right, okay, let's get into it. Hello everyone, how are you? I hope you are doing fabulously. I'm glad that you're on this video. I am just going to do a little mini quick introduction, a little bit of a recap on my receipts and why I'm telling you this. But firstly, I'm so happy that you're here. I'm so happy that you're watching this video. If you have any thoughts, any questions, any concerns, put them down below because I am always reading, I'm always listening, and I genuinely want to help you. That is my biggest goal. That's why I'm making this video, because I want us to be doing more. I want us to all feel comfortable using social media to share the things that we're passionate about, you know, to share the skills that we have and all of our knowledge and insights and the things that bring us joy. So I don't think there's any reason why we shouldn't be doing that. But the reason why we struggle doing it is because of what we're talking about in this entire video. So don't worry. So I am positive after this video, you will feel better. And I'm hoping you may even feel excited to go and film something. That's the goal. A very quick fire blast of my receipts so that you know I am actually credible to be telling you this information. Personally, I've grown my following to over 100,000 followers across different social media platforms. Still blows my mind. It's crazy. I still have imposter syndrome, so you're not alone. So far, I've worked with at least over 100 people on their content, which is also crazy and so cool. And if I was to include all the different topics that I've talked about on all the different social media accounts and platforms that I've posted to, I've probably been posting on social media with a goal in mind for about a decade. Maybe less, but and one of the things that I think about every single day and also talk about with the people that I work with and have worked with so far, showing up on camera and like using your voice and feeling confident to talk about the things that like you would normally feel confident talking about if you were talking to a friend, that is such a massive problem for so many of us. And before I go diving into the different ways where you can kind of work through this with yourself to get more confident and actually solve the problem, I just want to let you know that you are going to do it. There is no way that you won't do it. And to give you a very short answer, the way that you will get good at it is by doing reps. Doing the reps, putting stuff out there and practicing. There are obviously lots of things in between that we're going to talk about now, but I just want to let you know that if you feel totally lost and you're like, what am I doing? What am I talking about? I don't even know why I'm on social media, but I just want to be on social media. That's fine. I would still suggest the way that you will get clarity is by continuing to put stuff out there. And that's not me saying to put quantity out there in the world, like things that you're not actually thinking about, like posting once or twice a day just purely to get, numbers out there and get experience and get to your answer quicker. It's not as simple as that. But what I want to ensure is that you're still being intentional about everything that you're sharing and everything that you are talking about. And there's a little bit of love behind it. So let's get into all of it. The first thing that I want to talk to you about is the whole concept of getting over it, getting over the awkwardness, getting over the icky feeling of actually using your voice and listening back and being like, oh my God, my voice sounds so weird. My face looks so asymmetrical. What's going on? I don't feel cute. I don't feel confident. Yada, yada, yada. I want us to all start by acknowledging that we're never going to get over that. That is always going to be a problem. To talk about me for a second, before I filmed this video, this is the second time that I've tried filming this video, by the way, and that is so normal. Nothing about what I do or teach the people that I work with is about striving for things to be perfect, because perfect does not exist. So I'm refilming things. I'm repeating things that I'm saying because I am not 100% confident. I am the most introverted, awkward, very anxious, overwhelmed girl, but somehow I still manage to show up with my best energy. And actually, I really do enjoy talking to a camera. But the whole process of getting to a point of getting into flow and speaking how you would want to, and the right words are coming out of your mouth at the right time, that's a process. And there are still so many videos to this day where I'll film them and I'll scrap them. So this isn't me teaching you like this perfect foolproof method of like, this is how you're going to create the best content on earth. No, what we're talking about right now is like the foundation, how we're going to build up the awareness of being okay with what our raw, untouched footage actually is. Because 9 times out of 10, if I'm filming a video, even for TikTok or Instagram, those kind of videos are probably going to be, when they're actually posted, max 60 seconds, 90 seconds. My footage before I edit it is between like 7 to 15 minutes long. That could be a YouTube video, but what's actually inside that video is me constantly repeating myself, fumbling my words, getting so anxious, my face turning red because I'm literally convincing myself that I'm like crazy. So that's normal. We're all doing that. So I wanted to just normalize that for a second from my own experience, at least. So together, if we can both acknowledge that ickiness, that weirdness, that goal of things being perfect, that's never going to go away. That should hopefully make you feel a little bit more comfortable, knowing that when you start, especially, it's going to feel 10 times harder because you're figuring things out. You don't really know how to angle your camera. You're not sure exactly where you're going to film. You're not 100% sure what you're actually talking about. That's totally fine, because over time, through doing things over and over and over again, we are always going to be getting better. We're going to be learning what we enjoy doing, what looks good, but also, more importantly, we're going to be figuring out the things that we don't like, the things that didn't work for us, the routines and the things that we tried that literally just felt so wrong. Like maybe, for instance, that could be filming at night, or filming with a script, or not filming with a script. There's so many things that we can try. So we're going to go through it all. And how I want to reframe this like icky, uncomfortable fear of the actual act of being behind a camera and talking about the things that you're passionate about is exactly that. Why are you doing it? Why are you actually talking to the camera? What are you actually saying, and who are you talking to? Because if you are clear on that, or at least slightly clear, that should be your why. Make it less about you and point your focus on the person that you're actually speaking to. Like if you really, really, really believe in your message, what you're saying, and what you're actually sharing with the person, imagine you have this like persona of someone that you're trying to reach on the other side of the screen. Like if you're making a video solely for them, doesn't that make you think less about yourself and, wanting it to feel perfect for you? Because really the goal at the end of the day is to reach your person and to actually make a really positive impact on them, as opposed to being so obsessive about your filming setup being perfect, or your script not being as refined as you wanted it to be, or your edit not being as clean or as like, I don't know, like cozy, like, I don't know, financy bro, whatever kind of editing style you're going for. You're obsessing about it being perfect. And that just really shouldn't be a focus. Because if you're instead focusing on the person that you're speaking to, creating something for them that is interesting, that is educational, maybe they're going to learn something, maybe they're going to feel better about themselves, whatever way you're making them feel, the focus should be on making them feel something. And in turn, you're going to feel a lot less obsessed about making it perfect for you. And again, throwing it back to like a personal example, that's how I felt at the beginning when I first started creating the content that I do on Instagram and on TikTok. I was not good at editing at the beginning. Like I was always editing YouTube videos, but short form content was so new to me. The reason that I actually started creating the content that I do on Instagram was because I had started my business, which is a video editing agency. I had a client who was in her 60s. She asked so many questions, and I don't mind. I love answering questions. But there were some things that she really just couldn't grasp. She couldn't get her head around and always had to reconfirm. She just needed to make sure that she was doing the right thing. So she would always ask me these questions. I'd always type out answers. And obviously I'm like, I'm busy, I'm tired, blah, blah, blah. In my head, I thought, wouldn't it be so smart if I just had something I could send her every time she had a specific question that would literally just give her the answer? And that was where I realized I could create short videos that are literally the answer to her questions. And as soon as I started doing that, the engagement started to speak for itself. It wasn't like, oh my God, I'm viral straight away, because that also wasn't my goal. But the numbers started to trickle up. People started to comment, new people started to follow me. And I started to get like really genuine messages that eventually made me realize why I'm doing this. So at the beginning, my goal wasn't to create this perfect, stunning short form video with like the visual kind of like content style goal that I had in mind. I purely just wanted to get my message out there. I didn't really care too much about how it actually looked in the edit. So food for thought. And of course, like it totally makes sense like why we feel so uncomfortable about being on social media. We're so frightened of being judged, or, you know, friends, family seeing it and being like, what is she doing? Or maybe if you're even someone who is totally new to something and you want to create content around you sharing your journey of you learning that skill, but you're actually frightened of professionals or people who are like super skilled in that thing judging you as well. And of course, that is so normal. I felt the exact same when I started. I think there's so many of us who feel the same too. But from my perspective, you can never see that on the outside. It's only you that is feeling that fear and that like panic of being judged. If we're going to talk about like friends and family judging us or like seeing our content and being like, oh my God, she's weird, who cares? I am so much more impressed and so proud to see my friends and to see someone like you sharing content that makes them proud, putting themselves out there, showing up on camera and doing the scary thing. Like that is so much more impressive than being someone who judges someone for doing that. Like I think that's crazy. Like what I said already, people aren't judging, and if people are judging, we don't want to know those people anyway. So forget about them. You solely need to focus on you, your vision, and your why you're doing this. And if that is what is in the literal forefront of your mind, you are going to care so much less about being judged and being perceived. Okay, so let's imagine you have actually started creating content, started doing the scary thing. You're hitting record, you're speaking to the camera, you're making voiceovers, you're editing things that you've never done before, talking about things that you've never talked about before, putting it out there in the world. Let's dive into a little bit about what's actually going to happen when you start doing that. When you start showing up, when you start doing the icky, weird, uncomfortable thing, the right people actually start finding you. And like what I said about my own journey, it wasn't an instant thing. I didn't instantly have 50,000 followers on Instagram. Of course, that's never going to happen. But over time, people started trickling through. Genuine people who were either doing the same thing as me on the same journey or really wanted to actually learn from what I was saying. And at the time, it blew my mind. I was like, there's so many other creators out there on the internet that probably know more than me, that have done this for longer than me, that are like so much more skilled than me. Why would you want to learn from me? You know, you have all these weird limiting beliefs, like inner demons that keep coming up, but they see something in you, like something that can be so hard for us to see in ourselves sometimes. And we just need to take a second to be like, I'm a baddie. I know so much. I'm actually so good at what I do. Of course, people are going to be impressed or like inspired by what I'm doing, because if we go back to point number one, you're creating content for that person and that person has found you. And when that happens, that is going to be such an exciting thing when it does. And through that, it's almost like a bit of a domino effect. Like you start to connect with people who are in a similar place, have maybe just started creating content, and you actually end up growing together. There's been a few people that I've actually done that with, and it's so nice and so fun to have someone in your corner. You end up building this like really small, genuine community of people who always the first person to comment, to reply to your story if you're sharing something positive, or surprisingly, you are going to find people that will genuinely be there to support you and who are actually so excited to see the next piece of content that you share and to hear what you're talking about. And also, once you start showing up, you're posting regularly, you're doing the scary, weird things, you are actually going to be building such a deep level of trust with your community, with your followers, you know, with your potential potential customers, clients, and future followers, they actually really get behind what you're saying, the value that you're sharing. And if it ever gets to a point where maybe you have a product or you want to offer a service, they're going to trust you so much more because they can see that you're authentic. If we're going to talk about the journey of creating content for a second, it is so fun for anyone, literally anyone, a new follower, even yourself when you're looking back on your own journey, or a client who could potentially work with you in the future. When they click on your Instagram, your TikTok, your YouTube, it is so nice for them to scroll back through your account and see the point where you actually started, and also notice how much you've grown. Because if we're going to think about it in the way of like you working with a client, let's say with like a product or a service that you have, they can clearly see how much you have improved over the time of like when you started versus where you are now. So if you were thinking to delete any of your old posts, don't do it. Do not do it. And from there, that is going to continue to happen. You keep showing up, you keep posting videos, you keep doing the thing that pushes you outside of your comfort zone, because you're always going to improve, you're always going to get better. But if we kind of go back to the starting point, like how to actually move past that awkwardness, that uncomfortableness of like freeze that we get when we get behind the camera, let's dive into some points. We already know, but we're not going to have the expectation in our mind of this first video being perfect, or even any of our pieces of content being perfect. I want you to grab the word perfect and crumple it up in a ball of paper and throw it out the window or burn it. No matter what your skills of content creation actually are, I just need you to do it. I need you to start messy. Film your footage on your phone. Do like the most basic 3-step editing routine that you can do. Like whatever means that you're actually going to do something and post it, that's what I want you to be doing. Because the goal at the beginning is to be putting things out there and building up your confidence so that you will eventually get to a point where you feel so good and so confident about what you're doing. On actually using your voice, like whether you're talking to a camera or even just recording a voiceover, I really want you to get into the headspace so that when you actually hit record, you feel like you're talking to a friend. And there are a couple of ways that you can do that. Let's say you want to practice whatever your hook is, because the hook is going to be like your introductory sentence. It's the first thing that you say. And that is always the hardest bit to get out, because I find however many times I record my video, every single time I'm repeating my hook over and over and over again because I want it to be right, but also I'm fumbling what I'm saying, I'm forgetting what I'm saying, it doesn't feel right, so I overdo it. The best way for you to not come across like you're trying to sell something and actually instead communicate it in a very natural, a very authentic way, one, hit record way before you actually even say your hook, because that just gives you a window of time to just kind of gather yourself, get yourself ready. Like maybe you're going over what you want to cover in your head. Maybe you're fixing your hair or fixing your clothes and looking at yourself in the camera, like checking what your background looks like. Literally just getting yourself into the mindset of like, okay, I'm filming now. And it's less of a panic. It's less of a, okay, I've hit record and I have to rush to say my hook. Let it record. If you have space on your device, whatever device you're filming it on, that's totally fine. If it means that you've got like a 10-minute video to work with, easy. Just cut out the silences. The second thing to do before you actually start speaking, take a big breath. Do a big, massive, loud sigh to get all of those weird, icky feelings out. Every single time I still film, I have to do that every time. Every time I'm speaking to the people who are in my course, in my mastermind, I get so nervous before I have the calls. I'm always like that. No matter who I'm talking to, I build it up to be this big thing in my head when really it isn't. So the thing that always helps me is to do some breathing. I'm not like a breathwork girl. I don't know much about it, but literally just breathe and sigh out all of the stresses and the anxieties. Another thing that you can try doing, I haven't tried it yet myself personally, but I saw this TikTok yesterday. So this is like such new news to me. But this creator is a voice actor. And what she suggested is that when you're saying your intro sentence, you start with a lead in. So basically what that means is you pretending like you're actually having a conversation with your friend first. So I'm going to play her video now and also put her details below so that you can follow her, because I'm sure she also posts similar things to this.
Let's use a line like, I've been using this collagen powder every morning and my skin has never looked better. So first, don't just read it. Picture where you are. You're in the kitchen with your girlfriend, you're making a cup of coffee for her, and suddenly she says, your skin looks amazing. And you are so excited that she's noticed because you've only changed one thing, and that's this collagen powder. Now, give yourself a lead in. Thank you. My skin is usually super dull, but I have been using this collagen powder every morning. My skin has never looked better. It is way easier to record when you're like coming from somewhere. Looks great. What are you using? I am obsessed. I have been using this collagen powder every morning and my skin has never looked better. Girl, I don't even wash my face. I've been using this collagen powder every day, and my skin has never looked better. Something to play with.
Isn't that fun? I definitely really want to try that the next time that I do my hook, at least. That would obviously be impossible to do for your entire video, for your entire script, but it at least gets you in the mindset of like, okay, this doesn't feel icky because it actually feels like something I'm like comfortable and cool talking about. Really good tip. Something else to consider is starting with something smaller. Start speaking on your Instagram stories. That's probably going to feel really uncomfortable at the beginning, but maybe if you do that once a week over time, you'll build up enough confidence so that when you actually record a video, there's literally going to be no anxieties left. Another thing that you can do, which I think a lot of us already know about, we probably all maybe already have tried this, but starting off creating videos by creating voiceover videos instead. There's no reason why you should force yourself to do a talking to camera video if you don't really want to, or if you just don't feel like you're there yet. If you're naturally more of a introverted, a more shy person, you can still create a really deep connection with your audience and feel like you're actually sharing value and education and you're inspiring people with a voiceover and clips. There's absolutely many ways that you can do that. So, and another method that I'm going to go through ever so quickly with you, because it is a little bit of a detailed one. I actually shared this with everyone who's in my group mastermind 2 weeks ago, and the feedback after they all did it was so fun to see. Stand up, hit a timer on your phone, and record yourself talking about anything for 5 minutes. The less that you think about what you're talking about, the better. Like, it can be random. You can be talking about what you had for breakfast. It literally does not matter. Talk for 5 minutes. It feels like a long time, but once you start talking, you're just going to get into a bit of a flow with it. And then what you're going to do after this is leave it for 24 hours. Like, do not look at it, do not listen to it, put your phone away and forget that it ever existed. What happens after the 24-hour period is you're going to do a 3-part review. So I want you to set a reminder in your calendar, like the next day. The first part of the review is an audio only review. So you're going to press play, turn your phone over, and literally just listen through to what you're saying. And through listening to it, all you're doing is listening in on like what you may potentially want to improve on. It's really cool. Like, you could be listening out for any filler words that you constantly repeat. If you actually feel like you're repeating yourself or kind of going around in circles, or maybe your voice is very monotone, like you don't really have much variety in what you're saying and it all feels like one, level. Maybe you're screaming, maybe you're whispering. By listening only to the audio, you will notice so much. All I want you to do is go into the notes app on your phone, Notion, wherever you take notes, or a journal, and just write down what you notice. Secondly, you're going to then turn your phone over, you're going to turn the sound off, and you're going to watch through the 5-minute recording so that you can actually see what you are physically doing. And here, the most important thing that you can be looking out for: are you fidgeting? Do you have any eye contact with the camera? Or are your eyes just like jotting around everywhere? How is your body language? Are you almost like hunched over, like quite anxiously? Are you fidgeting with your clothes or like touching your hair? Do you look confident, or do you look a little bit uncomfortable? And this isn't, to pick yourself apart and be mean to yourself in any way. It's literally just to be aware of the things that you can then improve on. The final review that you can do optionally is to download a transcript version. I would literally just read through the transcript, and similarly to like the audio review, are you repeating yourself? Is it taking you really, really, really long to eventually get to the point? Is there lots of waffle to eventually tell the story that you were trying to tell, or whatever it was? You'll notice lots of different things. Obviously, I could dive into that more, but I think it's really helpful. When I did it, I noticed so much, and I think it just makes you a lot more aware when you're actually then recording your next video next time. And again, it's not a thing to kind of like have in your head or like obsess about. It's just making things aware. Little baby tweaks. To wrap all of this up, I said this at the beginning of the video and I stand by it now. The thing that matters most, the thing that will make you confident, comfortable, and actually feel really good about being on camera and using your voice is practice, putting stuff out there, because you're never going to be able to start from a place of perfection, from having everything right, or by already being a master or professional of like what you want to do. We all literally have to start from zero and build our way up. It is so nice seeing someone's journey of where they started to where they are now. So wherever you are in your journey, it's really exciting, and I'm excited to see you continue to grow and continue to do the tough things and the uncomfortable things and push yourself out of your comfort zone. There are still so many of us who are shy, are introverts, are uncomfortable being on camera, but we still do it anyway because we're doing it for the people who we're actually speaking to on the other side of the screen. Our why, our vision, it all perfectly connects. So the actual talking to the camera stuff and using our voice, it may never be the thing that some of us actually enjoy. It may just be a part of the process of the things that we have to do in order to reach those people, actually do the thing that we want to do long term. So no matter where you are, no matter what your situation is, it is so possible for you to do this. And the way that you'll do that is by putting stuff out there. Classically, my camera died, so that is my sign to shut this video off here. I hope that you enjoyed. If you have any questions, any thoughts or concerns, please just pop them in the comments below. I'm always reading, I'm always listening, and always typing back because yeah, I genuinely really want to help you. We can all be creating content and there's nothing that we should be waiting for. No reason why we can't be doing it right now. So this is your sign. I'm sending lots of love, lots of hugs, and I hope that you have a wonderful week. Don't forget to subscribe, share with a friend if you feel like they may benefit from this, and we will see you in the next video.